There are men who grow beards, and it makes sense. Then there's the rest of us. You too, Adventist hipster, I'm looking at you. There's a difference between bearded men and men who grow beards for a time. There's a difference. As you'll see here, these are One Project bearded men. We salute you. And for those who cannot produce enough testosterone for beard, we have Photoshop. Deep, deep in the heart of Brooklyn, there's a hole in the wall, goes by the name of Defara. For those of you who know pizza, this very name evokes a full range of human emotion. Dom DeMarco came to the US in 1959 and in 1964 opened this shop. He's an immigrant, so he is the real deal. All the ingredients he uses to make his pizza are imported from Italy. He's got a region he likes to get them from. Except for the oregano and the basil, he brings those from Israel. He likes the region there, it gives it the right flavor. In a windowsill, he grows the rest of it. In a windowsill flower box, he grows thyme and oregano and basil, more basil and rosemary and hot peppers. You wait for 2 hours in line when he decides to open because he's 80 years old. He doesn't have to open if he doesn't feel like it. And when he's making his pie, you can see him making the pies. People try to help him, but every pie is made from start to finish by his hands. He'll bat them away. No. You don't even know. Recipe? What? No. He forgot those a long time ago. This righteousness comes from him instinctively. Franchises use recipes because they build from the outside in. They imitate the original. They got flashy logos and designs and mascots, tiny Roman emperors. And since we're really near taco land here, the world of taco, let's just be real about this. If you're selling tacos, you don't have to come up with anything else. Like, this is a new enchila burrito de la supreme, hold the meat at beans. What is that? When your pie is ready, Dom lovingly clips fresh basil onto it and smiles as the leaves float slowly to the surface. And then before he hands you it, he looks at you in the eye, just scanning you to make sure you're worthy of it, and you're not. And when he hands you this slice, he's handing you his soul. Not convenience or appearance, not a product researched and developed in a food kitchen lab, not something made for profit or for gain or for human applause. He hands you conviction. He makes pizza because it is the right thing to do. At the heart of this operation in Defara is a man who believes. And this is what Jesus is talking about in this section of the Great Sermon. The danger in emphasizing outward requirements of faith, of our spirituality, of our walk with God, is that we encourage external displays of righteousness that will only be skin deep, not soul deep. And in Jesus' day, the most common religious activities were demonstrated through these activities: giving to the poor, public prayer, and fasting. The principle that Jesus lays down here in this section of the Great Sermon is this: you can't please both God and man simultaneously. No one can play for two audiences. You have to do it for one. And so, he says, do it with conviction. To the people who act out of conviction, they will give because we are convicted, that we are responsible for the least of these. Those who are convicted will pray because we do so desperately knowing that we want more communion with God. We fast, for those of us who do that, because we want to not to forget how abundant God has been blessing us. We want to go deeper, more focused with Him. That's why we fast. The error in Jesus' day, and often our own error, is equating the applause of people with God's approval. But Jesus says it here in Matthew 6, and He says it many other places. You cannot depend on the esteem and approval of your family, your peers, your church, your community, or any other human audience to measure your righteousness before God. When we do this, we receive exactly what we're after, that is applause and nothing else. We forfeit what we really need, which is meaning, joy, deep satisfaction. And those are the rewards of heaven. The error of our day could be, hear me, people, sounding trumpets about skin-deep righteousness for the sake of the approval of people. Sometimes I read headlines that sound like this: we are the fastest growing denomination in the world. But there are places where the church is dying. And also, are we growing in our love for Jesus? We operate the largest or the second largest school system in the world. But are we making it affordable and available to those who need it the most? Wait, there's more. Our healthcare systems, are tops in quality and high tech, and we're good. But can people afford it? And are they receiving care that heals not just their bodies, but their souls, their families, their communities? What does Jesus say? So what does Jesus say? He says, fast. Let's take him from 3 to 1. Fast. Yes, fast. But don't announce it. Working out every morning, are you? You don't have to announce it. I don't announce it. Why? Because here's what happens. The people will look at me closely and go, I don't think it's working. Wouldn't you rather have people go, hey, have you been working out? Yes. Yes, I have. I'm going on this diet. I'm going to juice for a couple of years. I'm going on this diet. I'm going to diet. And people have to look at you and wonder for a couple of years, I don't think it's working. Is it working? Or would we rather do this? Have someone look at us and go, you look happy, more fulfilled, more focused, more aware, more loving, more generous. Have you been fasting? Fast, but don't announce it. Jesus says fast, don't announce it. Jesus says pray. But don't be verbose and ostentatious about it. Just pray. Know who you're talking to. This is so simple. We could spend hours on this one, but listen. Remember who you're talking to. And this is what Jesus says. Remember who you're talking to. It's your Abba, your Father. Is this how you talk to Him? No, you don't. When you're in your private closet, this is how you talk to Him? There'll be seats. No, you don't. Talk to Him this way. Say it with me. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. It's breathtaking in its simplicity, comprehensive in its reach. Jesus says, pray. Pray like you know who you're talking to. And give. Give to the poor. Give in secret. You'll reap the rewards you're after. When I was 12 years old, This is a year in my life that some of you have heard me talk about before, and I'm beginning to realize how pivotal this year was. My parents decided to move to this great country. I didn't know any English, and they put me in an 8th grade class, and I tried my best to fit in, but when you don't know the language, it's pretty hard. So I spent months on my own recess in a corner of the room trying to figure out life, certainly not poor, but feeling poor in spirit. One day, I came to class and found in my desk, in one of the little pockets in our desks, I found a little balsa wood flyer, a little plane. You know what that is? Yes. I took it out and I thought, what is this? Did everyone get one too? So I held mine up, just going, hey, everybody. And everyone looked at my balsa wood flyer, and they're like, well, good for you, man. Good for you. We didn't get one. So I put it back in the pocket, and I thought, well, what's going on here? And after class, I approached Mr. Ben Holsworth, the 8th grade teacher. I went to his desk, and in the best possible Spanish I could say to him, esto no es mío, esto de alguien, apareció en mi escritorio. And he looked at me, and he shrugged his shoulders. He went like this. And finished by going, as if to say, no one else got one, man. Just you. Just you. It's pivotal. You have no idea what that does to a 12-year-old. You have no idea. I went home with that little flyer, and it wasn't just a flyer. It was making my soul soar. 2 years ago, I went to Union College, and I found Mr. Ben Holsworth. He teaches there now. I went to him, and I said, Mr. Holsworth, I can't believe it's you. I got to tell you this story. One day when I was in the 8th grade, freshly immigrated, you put a balsa wood flyer in my desk. You remember? You don't remember? Because I do, because it changed my life. I love that plane. I had it for years. It meant so much to me. And he didn't remember any. I had this thought. It reminds me of a scene that will take place at the end of time when the righteous will ask Jesus, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you or thirsty? When did we give you drink, Lord? This is the kind of forgetfulness that I want to have. Like DeFara, like Dom DeMarco's pizza. Those who live and act out of their conviction forget these acts of righteousness. Why? Because they're inside. They're implanted by the Spirit. May the Spirit cause the miracle of Jesus implanted in our hearts so that we may also live this way. Amen.